automobiles. And as Sonia said, this time we are concentrating on the stock that has fallen very drastically in the past 12 months. It's a 15% fall if you look at it 12 months, but if you looked at it year to date, the fall is more sharp, probably 30-40% fall in the Tata Motors stock. And a big reason for that is the slowdown in the luxury car market in markets like China. How will this market proceed here on? Are we going to see the continued double-digit falls in volume in these markets? We have an expert joining us from that country. John Zeng, the Managing Director, LMC Automotive, is joining us from Shanghai. He's a consultant of the luxury auto car market in China. Also joining to talk about the road ahead, literally, for this stock is Ashwin Patil, the research analyst at LKP. Gentlemen, welcome to the show. Mr. Zeng, let me start with you. What is the sense you're getting? These are double-digit falls we have seen in JLR sales in the Chinese market. Is this trend likely to continue for a bit more?
At the moment, we are seeing the market. And for the full year of 2015, our forecast is about 8% for the luxury car market. This is significantly lower than previous year because if we talk about luxury car market growth rate in China, for example, last year was 21% growth. So we are really talking about a growth rate slowing down, but we haven't seen decline yet. I think the key reason, I think, of course, the first half year, the of Chinese stock market really attract lots of money or the cash from the auto market to the stock market. So when the strong correction happened in last month and this month, there is really a shock to the industry. And before, because all the luxury car makers, I believe, when people catch up their profit from stock market, they will come back to the luxury car market from the second half. Now it seems that kind of expression is going to be delayed for several months until the stock market has more clear situation or more stable situation.
Okay, so until the stock market stabilizes, you will not be very confident about JLR sales increasing?
About JLR, you mean Jaguar Land Rover, right?
Yes. Yes, sorry, Jaguar Land Rover sales. You don't expect them to increase till the stock market stabilizes?
Jaguar Land Rover, I think they have a problem in terms of their Evoque. This model has been launched for a couple of years, and it's faced quite strong competition in this market, in Chinese market. I think particularly when they localized, they sort of lost the premium import car status. So people comparing with other local manufacturer cars in China. So they are faced competition from GLK, Q5. That's why if you look at the situation in China, the sales decline for Evoque is the biggest concern. However, from the second half year, the Discovery Sports will be launched in China as well. This is a new models which we believe will bring more competition for JLR in China. So as a whole year, we still expect JLR could gain some growth in China.
Okay. John, hi, morning. I wanted to also ask you about some of the cheaper Chinese models that resemble the Evoque. So, for example, Landwind has been doing, really well, and it is an exact copy of the Evoque. Is Jaguar Land Rover losing sales to some of these cheaper models?
No, because they are competing to complete different consumers. The price gap is huge.
Okay.
The Landwind model is talking about somewhere around 10,000 pounds, but Jaguar Land Rover's model probably 3 to 4 times more expensive than that car. So there's no competition.
Okay. So Zeng, are you saying that Tata Motors saw a double-digit fall in its sales because of problems specific to the product or because the market itself was shrinking?
The whole market, of course, the total luxury car market is slowing down in China. That's the macro environment. Everybody is suffering from that.
Okay.
Audi, BMW is suffering from that. But for JLR, they face a specific problem, is the Evoque. The competition for Evoque is quite fierce in China. And because Evoque has been launching in China for a couple of years, and the model needs a refresh before they really can compete with other localized luxury car models.
All right, just hold on, John. We have another analyst who tracks the Tata Motors stock closely. Ashwin Patil of LKP Securities also joins in. Ashwin, you must have heard the points that John was making with regards to the growth in the China market being just 8% this year versus 20% last year. How much of that is already factored into the Tata Motors stock, you think, or do you expect more downside going ahead?
See, China is one of the major markets for Tata Motors, though it's a small player over there, having a very small market share. But for JLR, China is contributing about at least 25 to 26% to its volumes, and much higher than that in value terms, because the ASPs in China are much higher than the ASPs in any other countries for JLR. So it's a big factor, and definitely the current stock price has factored in much of it, according to me. And going forward with the JV with Chery Automobile is one of the major keys for recovery in Chinese markets for JLR, because that will make the car production over there cheaper than the imports that they are doing right now from UK and other other plants of JLR. So that remains the key. In Q4, we have seen only 3,000 to 4,000 units of this model coming from the Chinese JV. Now, with this slowdown going on, I think Tata Motors will be in a slow lane as far as this production is concerned, at least for this quarter or so. And they'll be waiting for some revival in the economy as well as the stock markets in China, and then they will ramp up the production over there. And that will be one of the key factors for revival in the JLR story in China, according to me.
Okay, there you go, Mr. Zeng. The experts are really waiting to hear when the Jaguar Land Rover sales in China can pick up. What is your sense of when that market might stop slowing and expanding, and when might Jaguar Land Rover benefit from that?
I think talking about the luxury car market, we are still optimistic on that, because the tier 1, tier 2 cities in China, the consumer upgrade their car to the luxury car segments. For JLR, I think it's depending on their model launch activities. So far, we are seeing that Evoque and Discovery Sport have been localized, and I think they really are talking about competing to the SUV models from BMW, Audi, and the Mercedes. But for 2015, we are really see that GLC and the new BMW X3, they are all being extended with long wheelbase to China. So I think for Land Rover, they need to think about their model competition in China. Whether they're going to have to localize the product, for example, extended long wheelbase for this particularly consumer taste, or they will continue bringing the original model into China. So that's the key strategy for them to think about.
Okay. Well, thanks, John, for joining us and giving us your view. So that's the word coming in from LMC. Ashwin, I just want to get your view in on, one, what your recommendation is on the stock, what's the target price, and two, JLR volumes in China have on an average slipped from 10,000 units per month to about 7,500 units or so. What is your expectation for the months to come? What are you pricing in, and what is the overall volume growth for the year?
See, first of all, my recommendation on Tata Motors is a strong buy with a target close to 540 rupees. See, in China, we are seeing a imminent slowdown, and that's about 30% drop that we have seen in the month of June for JLR. And I think going forward in at least couple of months or a quarter or so, this slowdown will be seen in the Chinese markets unless and until the macros improve over there, the stock market improves, the commodities markets gain some sort of traction over there, and unless that happens, we are not going to see any great growth from China for JLR as well, because they are a part of the luxury car markets, and that market is getting affected to a great extent. In the second half of the year, when the new launches will happen, when the Evoque and the Freelander and the Discovery models will get started, the production from their Cherry automobile will get started. There will be a good ramp up in the production, and the sales also will be improving from there. So for this year, we were earlier factoring a growth close to about 15-16% from China. Now we have cut that growth to about 6% from that particular geography. And I think that other geographies like UK, US, Europe and the rest of the world countries will be able to offset this kind of decline in the Chinese markets up to some extent. And hence we are positive on the stock, and on the margin performance the company is doing well. 17-18% margins we are expecting steady state for this year and next year as well. And the domestic recovery is on the cards. We are seeing the CV cycle recovering, and the new models are also getting a good response from the consumers. So on and on, we are having a positive view on the stock with a target close to 540 rupees.
All right, that's a good gain from here. Thank you very much for joining us with your thoughts. Okay, so at least if the Chinese car market is not reviving anytime soon, there are other things that might at least prop the bottom for the Tata Motors stock. That's the word coming in from the expert. We have to take a break on